I'm the feeling, this is the fallout, taken lightly. What's another life lost in the frenzy? Hear the iron, strike iron. Do you see the fire moving road to road? We'll drift to sleep as it burns. Fly high, let's rise through starlight, dance with the moon, ignite the sky. Reds burst through midnight, fading silver glow. Lectures, cutting silence like an arrow in defiance. This is the last time, or was it last time? Did we make it to the shoreline? What stays the earth? We eclipse the sun. We're entangled in a war that can't be won. There's no escape. There's nothing. There's no fucking yes. Spare and cry, fight the fight, fight to shine. Spare and cry, crucify, say goodbye. Spare and cry, spare and cry. Fly high, survive. Let's rise through starlight, dance with the moon, ignite the sky. Whispers through midnight, fading silver glow. Spare and cry, let them speak. Breathe the air, breathe in me. Spare and cry, let me save. And now I'll find a way to see with eyes unclouded by hate. Find good in evil and evil and good, preserving the balance between the two. Spare and cry, survive. Let's rise through starlight, dance with the morning light. The sky, whispers through midnight, fading silver glow. Fly high, survive. Let's rise through starlight, dance with the moon. I know you wanted me to stay, but I can't ignore the crazy visions of me in LA. And I heard that there's a special place where boys and girls can all be queens every single day. I'm having wicked dreams of leaving Tennessee. Here's Santa Monica, I swear it's calling me. Won't make my mama proud, it's gonna cause a scene. She sees her baby girl, I know she's gonna scream. God, what have you done? You're a big booty girl, and you dance at the club. Oh mama, I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong. left you all behind. Still love you in Tennessee, you're always on my mind. And mama, every Saturday I can hear your southern drawl 1,000 miles away saying, God, what have you done? You're a big booty girl and you dance at the club. Oh my, I'm just having fun on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down at the Big Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Big Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Big Pony Club. Big Pony Club.
everybody. We're going to be starting here in just a second. Just got upstairs. I got something from the mail today. And then, yeah, we're going to dive into new news and a bunch of other stuff here live on EFP June 18th, 2025. What is up, everybody? You guys doing well? It's a good day. We've got rain out here today. I just realized my colors are all messed up, but EFP Live, June 18th, 2025. We got some big news in tabletop this week. Some of us already talked about it. There's been rumblings in every Discord that does TTRPGs. So we're definitely going to be diving into the new Darington Press news. There's a couple other ones before that we're going to do as well. Let's change this lighting. I don't know why. Oh, Mythic Bastion Lands. That's why it's gold. I was like, why is it gold right now? So let's grab a theme here to make sure any further recordings today. Got some good stuff. We're gonna do the synthwave, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a busy day. It's raining today. It was pretty warm, so iced coffee it is. How's everybody else? I see Nick. I see Kyle. How are you guys doing? I did get something in the mail today. I haven't opened it yet. I literally just got it. This is the $52 version of the game. Literally 52. $52. This is what it looks like on top. But I haven't opened this. I think I kind of want to open this to start the show. Just to show you guys what it is. And what you get. And the Dagger Heart thing. You may have seen some already, but I haven't opened it, so I want to fucking do it. So I'm going to put on the dog cam, as we've been calling it for the last God knows how long. We're going to go over to the live area. And I'll pull this out. And flip it. Like so. Raise it up. This is the spare camera. It's going to be a little in my face, but it'll be alright. We'll open this thing up. Little in my face. It's not too... It looks like I have a microphone here. So let's go over to the live table. And put the dog cam on. Pupper. Pupper cam. That's a little too low. About like that? Like that? The cam over? That's good enough, I think. There you go. So let's cut this open. I have a really old Craftsman. And they're old flip books. Your brain is melting from work, Nick. No. What happened? Too much work? Not enough fun? Ready for the weekend? Is that what I'm hearing, Nick? All right. Opening these plastics on screen is always so weird. No one realizes how time-consuming it is until you're doing it on camera. Normally I pre-cut mine to make my life easier. I didn't do that today. So is this just a sleeve? Do you leave it in the sleeve? I don't understand. Hold on. Oh. I see. I see. There you go. Some people were saying that the collector's edition, the card part, that the cards are really loose and kind of float around, and people were a little annoyed by it. I didn't really want the collector's edition. It looks good. I just really like the look of this art. Medical chronologicals suck to prepare. No fun. Oh yeah, fuck that shit. I wouldn't want to do that. How long have you been doing that for now? Is this what you do for this job all the time? Or does this just happen to be like one client for the place you work? Always cut away from yourself. Don't know why I have to tell people that. They've never used a knife in their life, like I'm teaching kids class. I always think it's funny when YouTubers and content creators are warning people of the life choices of like how to use a knife and how to do XYZ. Like, I'm not your daddy. I'm not here to teach you how to use a fucking knife. Cut away from yourself, everybody. This is stupid. I was literally mocking somebody I watched recently that was opening packages for like the 100th time on stream. I split my time between construction work and medical work at the firm. Oh, okay. This is clean, dude. Here, let me move. Let's move. Actually, I'll move this over here. Let me do this. I'm gonna move this here, and then I can put the book stand piece on it. See if I can't get all of this in frame for you guys. About like that. There you go. So, I mean, I'm not going to flip the whole thing. I wanted you guys to see the quality of it, because this thing is insane. I got to see another one in person. That's a thick. That is a thick boy. Is there something there? Is that a map? It's not a map. That's just, dude. Look, you can see the press line here from the glue of like how thick this paper is. That's fucking wild. But yeah, well, hold on here. First things first. I gotta put my stick in the front so I know it's mine and when I got it. So, is this 6? Right? 625? That's usually what I do for the signatures in the front of mine. My battle axe of the EF. So, yeah, dude, this is really nice. It's not it's like semi-gloss. It's kind of matte. It looks good. Turn this up a little bit for you guys. Make it a little brighter. Might blow me out a little bit for the first few seconds, but I'll do this. Hold on there. I'm gonna turn it so that you guys can still hear me. There you go. So, this looks pretty clean, man. I love these pages where they have the art with it. I'm a big fan of those. This is really nice. It's like a semi-matte. Semi-gloss. Like you can kind of see it if I bend it. But when it's flat, I mean, it's clean. And I mean, that's just a really harsh light. It's like a semi-gloss. You can really see it here. Like, it's pretty gloss, or it's pretty matte. But you can see the kind of semi-gloss particle. Dude. This book is gorgeous. It really is. I love the weapons in this game and how they did it. The weapons in this game are stupendous. So, like, if you go to the primaries here, so here, watch. And we've done this on screen, but I just wanted to have it set up for you guys. I'm turn the music down a touch. Put it around 20s. So it's there, but just quiet. Let me find Pro. And then I can zoom this in some for you. So you can see, I know it's got the shadow now, but you can see like how they break them down by type. Right? So if you get a battle axe that's a tier 1, a longsword a tier 1, they have magical implements as well. And then when you get over to your tier 2, here, tier 2s, you can see that they add extra physical damage to it. So it's a D3. It's a D8 plus 3 instead of 1. And instead of changing your sword or your weapon out every time, you just add the extra damage, and sometimes they pick up a new feature. So you get to keep the weapon you like as you're playing through the game. And then the bottom of these pages, if I zoom back out, they've got the great art for the different styles of weapons on them. It's really nice. It's a really nice piece. And like I said, we're not going to flip through all of it. I just kind of wanted to showcase the quality more than anything else for this. Look at this crap. It's so good, dude. This art is so good. There's no bad art in this book. There's not a single piece of art where I was like, man, they could have skipped that. None of it. All your different frameworks. We're getting ready to run Motherboard on Sundays for our Patreon game. This is one of their frameworks. And this is what we're going to run, which I'm excited for. A little sci-fi-ish, little Final Fantasy feel to it for all my Final Fantasy fans. You got your book, your maps in the back here. And all of these blank maps connect together. You can kind of see, like, here's that point on this, and that will connect over here on this section. And then same way this way. Notice that these two connect, right? But if you were to take another one of the blanks, for example, these ones, it's the same thing. You can see the point here. That connects to here. And all four of them can be moved around to connect these pieces together to make a really amazing overland maps. And this is really kind of my favorite style of overland maps for your big world maps. It's got its index. This is Colossus of the Drylands. Here, I'll show you the mothership one. Or not mothership, motherboard. This is motherboard. And this is the one we're using. I'll zoom in on this, actually, because this is pretty cool. But yeah, like this is the center of motherboard. And you just kind of fill stuff out on it as you're playing. Really good work. Really, really good. So that's the book, right? So let's get rid of this. This is all the cards. This comes with it. It's magnetic. Here, right? Look at this. Magnetic. And you get all your cards. And what people were saying is in the collector's edition, there's only 4 areas for the cards and they slop out. In this, they all stay. So, like, this is everything that you need for the game. Like, I don't know, man. 50-something. Like, D&D doesn't even do this shit for you. Yeah, right, Nick. It is. It's a partial isometric map. That's correct. But, like, D&D doesn't even do this shit for you. You get all your cards all in one spot. Everything together. I don't know, man. I'm pretty fucking excited for this, to be honest with you. I think this is really, really cool. Oh, I gotta sign this too. Yeah, I signed mine in case I'm in a gaming space and everybody's got copies. And I have found that if I don't sign it, if someone picks up your copy, you're like, which one was mine? Plus, if anyone ever steals your shit and goes to resell it at a store, your signature's in it. I also know when I bought my stuff then. I like having them signed for that reason. But yeah, this is really nice. I'm really impressed by this. I don't know if I'll keep them in this slip case, but it's a good slip case. It's decent. It's in good shape. I don't know if I'll keep putting them in here every time. I might just make a different slip case for it and then cut this apart and fill it. Because I wouldn't mind having like a wrap leather to hold them in place, because doing this every fucking time is just aggravating to me. But $50-something, man. This is a really, really solid version. I hate the cards personally, but I get why they did it and tried to make the cards work with spell cards. It just didn't work for me. I found it more frustrating to keep up with. For what game? From what game? Any game? Because I would say the same thing normally. I usually don't like cards in my TTRPGs. I'm a traditionalist. I put a lot of my stuff just on paper. But I found, let me switch this off. If I can. There we go. I found that having them there for character creation was monumentally awesome. It really, really was good having those cards for character creation, because you can lay them down and it stopped duplicating. You know what I mean? And then for the spell cards, you have to remember, you're not going to have 30 fucking spells in this game. On average, you have 6. I think your sideboard or your vault holds the rest, but you only really have like 4 or 5 powers active at a time. When you take a short rest, you can swap out some of your spells or abilities from your class. So it's not the same as D&D where you're carrying around 30 spell cards. You know what I mean? I watched a live play of this and found the rules overly verbose and not engaging. I don't agree with that in the slightest. What didn't you find engaging about them? I found that, if anything, it helps teach players to take agency in a round and to work together. And also, what background for tabletop do you come from? Do you come primarily from like OSR, D&D, Shadow Dark? Like, what do you play? Blades in the Dark? Like, do you play a lot of the narrative-based games? Because I think that's really where the catch comes for some people. If you don't come from narrative games, they wanted a narrative game that had crunch for combat. That's really what it came down to. They made something for their style of running Critical Role. And which live play did you watch? The new one's good. I actually really like Age of Umbra, and I usually don't watch a lot of live plays. I'm usually producing, so I don't really have time to watch a lot of them, but I really enjoyed them a lot. If you're talking about the first one they did back during Christmas, I wasn't a big fan of that one either, but I think they're still trying to find their footing for the system. A lot of narrative solo games. Okay, I see. I think this one would be hard to do narrative solo. I am excited to see if someone makes a narrative solo set for it. The things that I liked the most about Daggerheart was teaching people Spotlight. I hate clunky initiative systems. I've never been a big fan of clunky initiative systems. I've talked about this numerous times on EFP Live and just on other shows that I do. I'm a big fan of Rob Schwab and his style of doing initiative for Shadow of the Demon Lord. I'm also a big fan of Monty Cook Games Cypher System initiatives. Hey, Serving Hands. A big fan of those. I like, so if you've never played Shadow of the Demon Lord, the way it works is you either go on fast or slow, and players go before monsters or NPCs, unless they have a special rule. Like vampires, I think, had special rule that says faster than you or something like that, or faster than PCs, or inhuman, I think is what it was. And you choose what you want to do. If you want to go on fast or slow. If you're going fast, you can either move or take an action. If you go on slow, you get a move and an action. And I found it really freeing because instead of asking people what's your initiative number, which is the most time-consuming thing, I don't mind it in Shadow Dark because you do it once to start the game. They wanted to keep initiative, and instead of you doing it every round, it's like, what's your initiative for this session of Shadow Dark? That works. But for Rob Schwab's every round, you just decide what you want to go. Sometimes wizard spells take a slow action. Other actions are fast, and you can shoot and get like a 5-foot step. So I like the tacticalness of that. Do you have a minimalist rule set that you really like? Do you have like a specific one? I'm just getting ready to get into some solo of Entity. I'm a big fan of, I got to finish watching it. Nick told me that the gentleman from Mythic Bastionlands, Chris McDowell, did a deep dive into Mythic Bastionlands, which we're running on Mondays. I love that system. There's so much stuff in there that I think is just sublime. Like they just nailed it. But I'm going to be playing, let me open the file up here. I'm going to be playing, I think it's called Entity. Let me see if I can find it. Was it Drive-Thru RPG that I got it on? That's the best question here. Hold on. So I think trying to combine Powered by the Apocalypse style mechanics with more track crunch is a fine line to walk. I do too. I'll tell you what, man, I've ran it twice now. I'm an improv GM in general. I mean, I take notes, like, for anyone who's seen my notes before, I mean, I could quickly show you these. This is like my startup for Mythic Bastionlands. Guess I do need this camera still, damn it. But I don't need it where it was. I need it here. Here, let me show you. So I have a couple specific styles of taking notes for my games. I learned a lot of them just through play. So let me go back over here. I'll show you. So I do a lot of different styles of notes. I have a few core concepts that I always follow. So if we go back over to this was the start. This is an old journal. It's an old wooden one that I have. And I always start, like I fold over a piece. I usually glue this down. Let me move this out a little bit more. Sorry, guys. I glue this down. I usually make an index like bullet journaling. Right? Yeah, he's a great designer. One of my favorite. And then once I get past that, we did our character creation section. So I write down like the common, rare, and epic and legendary items that I want. I have my character creation when we go through our first day. This is all written as we go. And then I usually do aftermath notes I don't want to share this. This is the backgrounds for the players. I did questioning for them that I asked them to create moments for their background. I did that live. This was written out in advance. Character creation, this is what I wrote out while we played. Only thing I started with is what you see in green. It's kind of like my notes to write things down. And then aftermath. This. And then this is the beginning of our next one, scales. And the only thing I wrote out in advance is what you see is the green. I think this one I actually wrote out, and I drew this. And I'm just tracing their path. I try to keep it really minimal, and then I have a printed copy of the map that I designed that has all the markings on it. And then I mark which ones they figure out. And then that's it. And I don't prep anything more than that. I definitely agree with Professor Dungeon Master that I only prep a session at a time because I never know what my players are going to do. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I can't prepare to do that stuff. But I'm interested in the entity game that I downloaded. I just, for some reason, I can't find it right now. I have it on my phone. I don't know if it's in my download still. Maybe I did move it over. That's very possible. Tolus, living ETHAUNTIA. I might have to send it to myself from the phone. I'll pull it up. I swear to God, I downloaded this, though. Guess not. Hold on here. Let me find my entity stuff so I can have it up. I wasn't even planning on talking about this today. Right? It is entity, isn't it? It's a sci-fi solo RPG. Does anyone remember the name of it? I thought it was entity. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. Let me go to my externals here. Man, I have a lot of work stuff in here. Cyber Plus Punk, that's another one I really love. It's not between the tower between two worlds, is it? That's not it. It can't be it. I'll have to find it. It's entity. I'm 99% sure. I don't think I downloaded it to my phone. Usually I keep a lot of that stuff separate in separate files. I'm just looking. Eat the Rich, that's another one of my favorites in the last couple of years. Fabula Ultima. Do you use the Mythic Game Engine when you're doing your solo work? Your solo games? I kind of found it cumbersome to me. I like some of the tables, but overall I found it really cumbersome. Really cumbersome. Well, shit. I was just fucking looking at this. I can't find it now. That's so frustrating. Anyone else have that issue happen to them where you're like, I know I fucking did this? Might be in files. Mike, I'm just going to give up on this in a minute. I'm getting tired of hunting for it. I really am. Eat the Reich. Sorry, you're right. Eat the Reich. Yeah. I haven't played Tunnel Goons. Karen, I'm a big fan of. Vault of Varns is good. Vault of Varns. Mothership are great. I like Mothership a lot, actually. I've ran quite a good amount of it. Let's see if I can find it in here. Yeah, it is called Entity. Hold on here. I found it. Let me... I'm going to send this to myself so that I can open this bitch in Discord. And then we can open this up. Because if you haven't seen this, this is something I have wanted to show off on stream, so I might as well do it. You know what I mean? Might as well. Let's send it to... I guess Discord is probably the easiest way for me to send this to myself. Yeah, we'll just put it here. All right, I'm uploading it here so I can send it over to us too. I take some bits and pieces a lot because I'm writing my own stuff. Oh, you're writing your own stuff? Oh, nice. Good for you. Another fellow designer. I do the same thing. I mean, that's exactly, speaking of what's going on, that's exactly what happened. Like, legitimately. You know, Dagger Heart took the best of all the things that they love and then modified it and made their own thing out of it. I think that's... And they did it really well. Even if you think it's too cumbersome, granted, I would never use it for... I shouldn't say never. I don't think I would aim for it as my first system to run solo games in. You know what I'm saying? I like the theory of 1,000-year-old vampire. Does that make sense? I like the theory. I've tried playing it a few times now. And I don't know, man. It doesn't click. Every Halloween, I feel like I try to run it. Every Halloween. And then, like, that month of October. And I get, like, 15 entries in. And I'm like, I don't think this works. But it's got such a gorgeous book. All right, here we go. I talked through that, but I got it. Here we are. Let's bring up Chrome. Let me get Chrome up for you all. We want Entity. And then we're gonna open it up. There we go. So have you guys seen this? I'm a big sci-fi fan. Big. I love me a great sci-fi game. And this one really stuck out because of what you were doing. It reminds me of The Alters a little bit, which just released for... If you have Game Pass, it's free on Game Pass. I'm just resizing this for you all. Is that right? It's almost there. Let's fit the page. There we go. Page width. Gotta love that. We'll move it over one more. I want it to chop a little bit on the side. There we go. So this is Entity. This is not what we were going to go over today, but I want to at least showcase it. It's a solo storytelling NASA punk by Peter. You got it? Yeah, I'm really excited to give this a shot. I really do like this. This is super cool. I love the art. I love this kind of science fiction. I love me some space games. I think this has a lot of potential. What I really enjoy with solo games is when they give you good sheets to follow. So if you scroll through here, it's not a big book, 24 pages, right? I'm probably going to print a copy of this for myself. Unless I can find one to buy somewhere. This ring, see this ring? That is legitimately part of the traveling piece that you use for the altars. And inside, there's like hanging threads and cables to build your units of where you live. So I was like, holy shit, it's the same game. Your space suits, different strains, impairment. And then you basically can die multiple times in this game. And I think things change. You get your missions you got to do, right? A little bit of everything. List of structures. These are the things that you can build inside of your ring. Encounters and challenges. I love that these are color-coded. I love the breakdown of the two colors for the columns. I think that's smart. Lots of good tables. Really good tables. And then they have the discovery. Stop. Do not read any entries below. I will not. And then the entity. This is your character sheet. Right? Your spacesuit. It's just clean. I don't know. I really am excited for this game. I really am excited for this game. Like, this is going to be a stellar, fun time. And I love, like, NASA punk stuff. And this has got that NASA punk vibe. I've always been a big space fan. So, yeah. If you haven't picked up Entity, it's pretty cheap. I think it's, like, $6 when I picked it up for a PDF. But it's not why we're here. We're here for news today. And then we're going to go over some other stuff. But there's a whole bunch of news. A whole bunch. Some really good stuff. Some stuff that's going to be a debated topic. I think we'll probably have it in here. I already know a couple people in the audience and I see very differently on this topic. So it'll be a friendly discussion. If anyone gets too wild, I'll just tell you to shut the fuck up like I always do. If you don't like it, then don't stay around. But I'm definitely fine talking about this. I think that the industry is about to shift again. That is my 2 cents, I'll say. I think the industry is about to shift. And I don't think that's negative. I think that's a positive. I think we were due for a change. I really do. And I've seen it happen a couple times now. So we'll get into that conversation. But first, I'm going to set up the recording, like I always do. And we're going to be starting with this Instagram post for Origins. I'm excited about this. I'm not at Origins. I didn't do it. I had a lot of friends that were there that are going. But it starts today through the 22nd. We're gonna go over this stuff. So keep it friendly, keep it moving. You're nicer than I am. So I'm gonna start recording. I'm gonna grab us a song to start this off. Well, I think I'll just do the start of this one that we were just playing. Make sure I hit the note, and then I'll start recording. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Recording. Let's get the episode ad. 3. And I will be interacting with the crowd on this one. This is a little bit of a different recording. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, tons to talk about. We're recording this during the live show for June 18th, 2025. We're going to be going over some news, some things that are going on, and of course, getting into the biggest news we've seen drop in quite some time. This is a live show. If you've never been here for the live shows, they are every Wednesday, besides the first Wednesday of the month at 3:30 PM CST. We already have a crowd in here. I will be popping some questions up from them on screen and going over things, but first I want to go through some basic news like we normally do. And then we're going to get into the big news and have a conversation from a designer and someone who's been in the industry for a long time as a friend and fan of the stuff that is being made. And then also, I think, just as a big macro view instead of the micro that everyone is focusing on. Because I think when you get too much into the dirt on this topic, you just are filthy when you come out versus coming out with the idea of planting a garden. You just become the fucking garden. And I don't want that. So first, let's talk about Origins. That's right, everybody. Origins is the 18th through the 22nd this month over in Columbus, Ohio. Great convention. I, unfortunately, have not been there since I moved from Michigan many, many years ago. Because it was close enough. You could drive. I should go, but I haven't. But I did see something cool over on Instagram that I kind of want to share with everybody. And we're gonna go through this. So check this out. Right here. Henna Gaming, Origins Fair, bring the megacorps to their knees, transhumanism, the tabletop RPG. Now, I love me some transhumanism. We have done it for Warpaint. We did it for numerous cyberpunks. I'm curious to see what this is. If any of you see this later and you went to Origins, let me know if you picked this up. Let me know what this new game is, if it's sellable. Right now, I think it has a booth number here. It looks like it is going to be booth 735 through 736. If someone is there, take some screenshots, drop them in our Discord, and let me know what it's all about. Because I love me a good transhumanism game, and I haven't heard about this yet. That's just something I want. That's what greedy Erik wants. So make it happen. Next up, I think is pretty important here. There's a new game or a chaos pack that was released today. Embrace the magic of randomness and blow the world to pieces. This is not specifically TTRPGs, but if you've been looking for a good isometric turn-based game, I've heard some really good reviews on this. So Stolen Realm has just lost their chaos pack. There's a trailer for it. We're not going to watch it today because it's a video game, but if you're interested in playing Stolen Realm, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this. I haven't played it, but I've heard really, really good things. If you're out there and play the game, comment down below. Are you enjoying it? Is it multiplayer? Is it something that TTRPGers would be interested in? I feel like they would be, but you never know, right? It could be anything. Maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be. But that's the only minor news that we have. There's a major news. The audience is here. Get your woes ready. Talk about what you want to talk about in chat. We'll talk about it here live. But the biggest news to come out is there's been many headlines from Darington Press stabs wizards in the back to poaching feels good to a whole bunch of just wild press releases based on the fact that two of the top D&D designers in the last 20 years quit Wizards of the Coast and now work for Darington Press. That's right, Darington Press, that the lovely creators of the new Daggerheart, which we were just showing off on stream today. I don't see any of this as backstabbery. Look, I work for some larger companies that when someone leaves a company, they always try to make those people sign, non-compete, 2-year, can't work in your field anymore, and basically squash your career if you left their company. I think that's bullshit. Sometimes you're just tired of working at that company. So, this is what we're talking about here. I know. Thought Kendrick also was fired. I saw that, Nick. I was right the same day. So, look at this. Mr. Perkins, Mr. Crawford, both with Darington Press. I do find it funny that this is the photo and these are not the Darington Press people. That's the first thing I will say. It's cool that they're joining the crew. We don't know what they're doing yet, exactly. They could be doing anything, but I think it's funny that this isn't with, like, the guy who created Daggerheart and some of the other people. So maybe they're giving them their own team. Maybe they're giving them the freedom to make their own game. Who knows? Maybe they're going to make them their version of D&D. I don't know. I don't know. I do think that they have a really good pedigree. You cannot like them as designers. But overall, these guys do good things. They make the hobby that we're a part of. We wouldn't have some games like Shadow Dark without 5e being as popular as it was. And also fumbling the ball. People aren't infallible. They fuck up. People make mistakes. But these two gentlemen that I've met numerous times over the years are both very kind. Chris is a fantastic GM. And I think they're both really good designers. If you like their design philosophies or not, they are good at what they do. And we have a right as fans to dislike things they make. I know one of the chat groups I was in, they were saying they don't like Candlekeep from Perkins. And that's fair. Candlekeep was, I believe, a series of adventures. I know the ladies of D&D or Fem Gamer Party now were running things from Candlekeep. I think they were great bite sizes. I'm looking at it from a very large perspective, a really zoomed out perspective of what's going on. These two left a company that they saw was on fire. I've talked a lot of shit about Wizards of the Coast just in the last 24 months. With the OGL debacle, that was 3 or 4 years ago now? But then they just kept making little shitty, stupid mistakes. And that's not... The big ones are not the fault of the designers. Most of the big mistakes were fault of the company, the C-suite. And you have a weird situation where you have two C-suites that create what I like to call kind of like an airlock. When you have Hasbro and you have Wizards of the Coast, and they're the two C-suites, and something enters one from whatever side, and it shuts, and it gets stuck in there for a really long fucking time. And because of that, when things finally come out, it's either too late, it's a bad decision, or they haven't talked to the teams past the airlocks that are making the actual games, making the actual products. So when you can't understand why something is done, most of the time the answer is money. I don't get it. Why the fuck would you do that? Money. Man, this is a bad design. Why would they print it this way? Money. Like, if it's time, time is money. Like, it always falls to that. Now, for Darington Press to pick these two guys up, look, they have exploded. They just put out Daggerheart. It sold out everywhere. People are now waiting to get it again. And I do want to show this. I got mine in the mail today, as of this recording. And it comes in a slipcase. It comes with all of the cards and the book. Well printed. Under $55. That's fucking insanity. Now, if this was D&D, you would be buying these separate. Right? You would be buying the book, and if you wanted the cards, you'd be buying the cards. And I know people don't like the cards. This has been talked about in chat. This has been talked about everywhere. The cards are a great learning agent, a teaching agent, a character creation agent. After that, you can just write them down, guys. You don't have to use them. But for $50-something, you're getting all of the fucking cards. You just get them. You can't and should not be mad that they are giving you quality and quantity. Not one or the other in this situation. They took their time and developed something great. And these two guys coming on board, I don't know, man. It's a good pedigree. I feel like it's a great play from them to bring on those people, because it also may bring some people from Wizards of the Coast that are fans of D&D over to whatever they make. If they keep making things for Daggerheart, maybe it's going to be for that. If they keep making things for a new system that they make, maybe it'll bring those people over. Maybe they're going to make their version of 5e. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, the amount of press that they're getting over this is wild. Chris Perkins, when he was doing PAX Unplugged, PAX East, all the Penny Arcade Expos, when he was GMing for those things, this guy was making somewhere between $35,000 to $44,000, is my understanding, for being on stage. Right? That means he was one of the highest paid GMs in the history of GMs. In the history. This motherfucker. So even if he's not a designer and he decides to GM so they have a different style on their network, look at the pedigree of fucking GMs this place has now. Very cool that they're doing this. And also, if you didn't even know this, Critical Role was just in Rolling Stone. Yeah. Hold on here. They did an interview with them just a couple days ago. And 10 years of Critical Role, and Matt Mercer's response is, "We are never going away." Look at this. Now, Rolling Stone, I'm not going to deal with your bullshit. I know I have sub blocked here for you. Do you know why I have sub blocked, my guy? Because your ads are intrusive. Let's see if we can get this to work. I'm hitting that refresh. You hit escape a couple times. See if it works. Nope. Damn. Well, anyway, you can see 10 years of Critical Role. We're never going away. This is amazing. They're in Rolling Stone magazine. That's insanity, dude. Insanity. So look. It's not a backstab. It's a good company move. You need talent, you get the best. They left that company on their own accord. They weren't fired. Chris and them left. And you got to think they're probably tired of dealing all the bullshit. Waking up every day and getting shade from their community because they were told to make decisions they had to make. Now, this is assumptions on my end. But they left the company after being there for so long. It was just time. People leave their jobs all the time. These are two people who are people, for fuck's sake, leaving their company to go do something for another, to continue their career, to enjoy being creative. If you are a designer of any form, in any field, if you're a creator, having your hands tied feels like suffocation. And if their hands were tied, and let's be real, there's no fucking way they weren't, going somewhere else for freedom and being able to do what you want, we should be happy for these people as creators in the industry. Creators that have given us D&D 5e. We've all played it. You don't say tabletop RPGs when you talk about tabletop RPGs. You say D&D. It's synonymous. It has taken over the actual terminology. While they believe that as a company they can be a brand identity like Nike, at the end of the day they're a tabletop RPG company with really creative people. Throw all their mistakes away. Their creators aren't usually making those mistakes. There may be a couple things that are done by them, but you can't bash them for every fucking mistake. I could bash them for the OGL on a corporate level, them fucking us over. I could bash them for sending people to houses with Pinkertons because something got released early and it was their fault. There's shit like that. But these two guys should be not getting any shade for going to another company, and neither should Darington Press. Darington Press is a tabletop RPG company that just made two very tactical, educated hires. They got two of the best, like it or not. So, maybe, instead of being dicks about it, we see what they do. If they fuck up while they're there, then you throw some shade. Maybe they make something really bad. Maybe that's horrible. Exactly, Serving Hands. Exactly. It wasn't the designers that hired the Pinkertons. You got it. So while I don't love all their design work, they are very talented. I am excited to see what they're going to do there. What I'm really waiting for is when Critical Role does that in-house interview they do with a lot of people and talk about what's going on and what's this going to look like. Are we going to finally hear why they left? How were their mouths stapled shut when they signed off, leaving that with whatever pension or whatever it is they got out of that place? And then for people like Todd, who just got fired from there, you can tell D&D is trying to pivot and make moves, because no matter where you look, the 2024 edition of D&D is not done well. People are not happy with this new edition. These guys left. They finished their job and left. I remember back during Pathfinder days, specifically Pathfinder 1, you followed designers a lot that made the adventures that you enjoy. I have my favorites from back in the day. Your Nick Logues, Eric Mona's stuff, Lou Agresta, Tim Hitchcock is one of my favorites of all time, Tom Noss. All of those people made adventures I liked, so I followed them around and picked up whatever they made so I could have their stuff. I like their design style, just like you pick up certain authors because you like the way they write their books. There's something for everyone. I'm curious to see what they do with this. And during those days, we also saw the fall of D&D once. We saw them try to make 4th edition. It was a bad position. It was bad marketing. It's not that the game was really bad. There are things out of that all of us use as GMs, from using the rules of bloody to skill challenges to ritual magic. There were good things that came out of that. There's things that they didn't keep. It's one of the best monster manuals of all time. But D&D doesn't know how to listen to their audience. They just make shit decisions on a macro level. But it wasn't Chris and Jeremy making a bunch of shit decisions at a macro level. They're the designers of the game. So, we're going to go to some of the chat stuff here. The problem I think a lot of people have with Crawford behind the 2024, while pushed by Hasbro and WotC, design handling of it was mixed at best. Yes, but you got to remember, from the top down, he probably had that list of, we want something that's more easily accessible. The layout has to be better. Everything needs to be polished. It needs to be in a format that any human can pick it up and play it. We don't know what scale and scope he was giving to design this. He wasn't allowed to go super far. For all we know, Jeremy may have wanted to make an entirely different system. And D&D said, like, fuck. Really, they should have just left 2014 edition alone and maybe gave us updated rules with errata in it and kept it just D&D 5e and gave us an updated version of it. But they wanted to brand and resell it. Look at how many times they renamed the fucking project, dude. Like, it had, what, 6 names? It's like HBO. No, it's HBO Max. No, it's just Max. Now we're going back to HBO. Like, they couldn't get their shit straight. So I get the disdain of, or dislike, I should say, not disdain, of the 2024 stuff. I don't like it at all. They cut all the fun stuff out. They got rid of the things that matter to me. And we keep finding more things that are missing between the two. So let the guy have some freedom here. Let him prove that he knows how to make something. Let him prove that he isn't what he was doing. Let him show that it was corpo greed that was causing these problems. Same for Chris as well. Let him show that that's what's going on. Before we come in guns blazing, yelling at people about being a designer. I know there's designers in chat right now. We've all put out a product where there was something in it we weren't happy with. But we put it out and we're like, you know what, maybe it's me. Maybe the audience will like it. And sometimes you get that branding back when the audience reads your stuff and goes, this is fucking cool. Sometimes you got to take it on the nose, man. And your shit was bad. And you go back to the drawing board and you make something else. Can't be discouraged, but you can learn from your actions. And all I can ask is that these two learn from what they did for D&D and don't make some of those same glaring mistakes that they've made again, if they're the ones who made them. So for me, calm down, take a breath. There's a lot of other shit that's on fire right now, and these two guys going to Critical Role are good news. We're not losing 2 vets. They weren't... The taste of working the industry wasn't so bad for them that they quit and stopped. That happens to a lot of people. You know what I mean? They could have just never came back. I've been too of the greats, gone. Just imagine if your favorite designers quit. Imagine if Monty Cook decided, oh man, he got shaded in forever, even though he's got one of the illest pen games in the world of Spigs. A buddy of mine from Cypher Unlimited, he does have one of the illest pen games ever. If he would have quit after Tolus, when 3.5, if he would have quit when he was fired from D&D with Rob Schwab and them, I interviewed and had to pull my interview because D&D said I couldn't have it up. That's right. I interviewed both of them about 5e coming out before they let them go. And I had to pull the article. I just want people to think about it for a minute. Is the company making these really fucking stupid decisions? It's not the creators. So to me, to Jeremy and to Chris, yo, congrats. You moved to the next company that I think is going to be making some waves and shaking trees and changing things up. You may not love Daggerheart as a game. We've talked about that in chat numerous times. I am actually a fan of it so far. I've ran it twice. I've really enjoyed it. I like the character creation. It's simple, but you have options. But I have questions on my end. But just like any game you take home, you change the things you don't like because it's your fucking table. If you don't like a rule and your group agrees, change it. That's the point. There's a rule inside of Daggerheart that basically tells you not to read too deep or dig too hard or min-max what you're doing. Go with the flow, go with the rule at the table, and have fun. It's not made for min-maxing, but we're going to have those people because it's a style of play. And I don't think there's anything wrong with your power gamer, your min-maxer, your optimizer. That's what they find fun. Plumbing a system is fun to them. But good. You do you, fam. Do they belong at every table? No, but neither does every narrative designer and writer and game master and player. Different folks, man. Different strokes. So for me, I'm excited about this. I think it's good. I hope everybody else is. We're going to be staying live after this. I just want to record this segment. Check out Daggerheart. Get a copy if you can. If nothing else, add it to your collection. It is a gorgeous book. The inside is great. I'm probably going to do more of a deep dive review, but down below is a link to the live if you're watching this afterwards. And you can go back a little bit and see me flip through the book quickly just to show you what there is. We're going to leave this here just for you to ponder and think on something for a minute. You've had friends leave jobs. And there are friends of yours that have left the job that everybody hated, but they were your friend. And it's because people don't know the whole story on why they left. Today, we just saw two people leave one of the biggest companies and the biggest company in tabletop RPGs to go do what they enjoy at another company that is changing the way games are published, produced, and seen. Critical Role has given us so much stuff over the years, from actual plays to advice on running the game, just fun. If it's not your fun, then don't fucking watch it. It's that simple. But you don't have to yuck someone else's yum that's enjoying it. So, congrats, you guys. I hope it does well. For all those who are watching this afterwards, leave a comment down below. Are you excited? What's your favorite? Let's do a positive. What is your favorite thing that Chris or Jeremy have made? What's your favorite thing they've done? I don't care about the bad. What's your favorite? Put that down below. That's the stuff they need to see. They need to see the shit that they made that everyone likes. No one wants to hear about what they did wrong. I told you to take the garbage out. Why is it still there? Go get it. So, I'll stop that recording. What I think is the most interesting about this is the timing. The timing for this is wild. Like, D&D is floundering and fucking up and literally, we're not recording that anymore. We're just live now, but they're literally floundering. And this group came out and was like, get fucking wrecked. Did it work? I got it. All right, here we go, guys. Now we can go over and look at this. Ow, you son of a bitch. Fine. Hold on, I gotta fucking allow this stuff. You used to be able to hit escape, like jam on it. Oh, that worked. There we go. This guy also has become a big part of the show. But 10 years of Critical Role, we are never going away. After a decade of rolling dice, Dungeons & Dragons' biggest stars look back on their family business. Look at this. Only read mode for the win. Thanks. This is wild. We are now seeing our hobby in Rolling Stone. So I used to work at Walden Books. I'm old. The gray. This is age. I really love the fact that now my hobby, that was the nerdy thing that you played in a basement, at a garage, at a game store, is now in fucking Rolling Stone magazine. Because of this group, if you like the show or not, we are able to find more players now, more GMs, because of their work in the industry. That's fucking paramount to remember. I agree, Robbie has been one of their best guest stars. 100%. I like Robbie a lot. And I don't watch everything from them. I am watching Age of Umbra because I wanted to learn the system. I've actually enjoyed it. I think it's fun. Very Dark Souls feel. But this is a really good interview. If you haven't read this interview, let me drop this in chat for you all if you want to go read it on your own. It's a good article. And they're swinging for the fences, man. Like, what is this They're a rock show now? There's some fun pictures in here. Ray, Regal, Bailey, and Jaffe dance on stage during their Chicago show on April 10th. Yeah, I missed this. I missed this show. My buddy went down for this, though. Bunch of clowns, man. It's great. I'd be sweating my balls off in that. Let's see what look at these pictures. Dude, this setup, man. Okay, first off, bravo, Matt's got a Stream Deck. He's got two. What was it? Oh, their last live show, how they played Family Feud style game. No shit. Oh, that sounds great. But look at this setup for this dude. Like, legitimately, look at this setup. Let's see here. Can we blow this up? That's about as big as we can get it. So, he's got shotgun style mics. He's not picking everybody up. It's on a swing arm. He's got a full GM screen that goes across. I do love the trapezoidal table for shooting, but I actually like it for character interaction too, because you can just talk across. I think it's a really good setup. I love the like skull motif, these little pieces across for the shots. He's got himself a bunch of stuff here. They have a rumbler for the table now. But he does the same thing I do. He's got this little side table. I always have a side table here. Like always. Like right now, there's one here. I always have a side table for the things I'm doing. I mean, I have this set up. I have a small one. I would like to have two big Stream Decks, but he's essentially... I don't know if he's changing the camera angles too. Somebody else has to be changing the camera angles. You know what I mean? That studio must be massive. I don't know how big it is. I should ask. I got a buddy who works for them. I'd like to ask. Oh, not for me. I love it. I don't need the. I love this. I love this GM screen and stuff, but I don't use a GM screen because I like really low profile GM screens. Like I want them tiny. I want them like. I want these. Hold on. I want this. I want these baby ones. This is my ideal GM screen size. I love this GM screen. I know so many GMs that are fans of this that just use it. But I like how short it is. Because if I have it down, like if I'm sitting at a table, it's this tall. It doesn't impede anything. And I love this one too because it's got these little tabs in the corner to put in your own pieces here. This is the size GM screen that I like to use. I don't get to use GM screens much, obviously, because I stream mostly now. But when I go run Dragon Sandbox or other ones, I bring myself usually that screen or my bag. I have a bag of GM screens over here, and I pick one out of it. But that's my favorite. I just think it runs smoother. when I can reach over the screen without hitting shit. Or I really do enjoy the split screens. You guys ever seen those? Where the center is open, but they kind of go on each side of you here to block stuff. I like those too. I don't use them that often either. I really don't, Nick. Or I lay them flat just to have the information. I just lay them flat and have everything on top of it. But, I mean, this is a crazy setup. It really, really is. I want to copy this image address. Hold on here. We're gonna do something. Let's see if I can get it to work. There. Now we can zoom in. I want to see what... I'm going to lean in. I'm going to be off frame. Oh, it's got a glare. I can't see it. So he's got his flight stands here. He's got his individual notes. Those look taped. These are the magnets, I remember. He's got his Stein. I think this is the sound effects and some of the lighting stuff he can do. It looks like he's got a cut up... He's got a GM screen behind his screen. That might be the Dagger Heart GM screen. I didn't know there was one. Then he's got all of his primary miniatures here. And extra dice. Is that his car keys? Is that your guy's car keys? Those look like they're his car keys. He's got his car keys in here too. You gotta have your car keys. And then this off to the side. You can see they got all the tape down here for taping stuff off. I don't know, man. I love the studio. I think this is great. I would love that as my GMing table. I like this trapezoid shape. But yeah, I wanted to at least showcase it. I thought they did a really good job. Really, really cool. Really cool. They did some amazing stuff here. So there is something else that I was trying to get to work and I could not get it to function. Over in Mythic Bastion lands. Never lose your keys. That's right. Never lose your keys. If you keep them with your dice. Yeah, why not? So Mythic Bastion lands, I was looking around for just new stuff. Like just what people have built. Just kind of hunting through stuff. And I found that somebody in Mythic Bastion lands made... I don't know if it's a character creator program, but I wanted to take a look at it. Let's see here. Where's it at? There's a lot of really cool stuff that's been going on in here. Check this out. Here's some of people's map tiles. Let me go back over for you. Some of people's map tiles have been doing. Right? I would have a split screen if I was doing it live. I think. There's another one. This is the map pieces that he's using. I don't know if he made these or he just cut up maps. I think he cut up maps and put them on hexes, it looks like. Watercolors. Rethinking my own watercolors turn hex. Thinking of making color-themed hex or turn them into Intergalactic Bastion, because I guess the next Bastion lands is space, which I think is very cool. People are starting to get their stuff in. This is the other one I saw that was really cool. He used tiles. And he just semi-glued them down on the tile sheet. And these are tiles. And I used to sell these hex tiles. You know what I mean? Super fun little setup for this. I actually really enjoy this. So I thought that was cool. I already gave that one some love. People are getting their books now. This was his prototype version of it, and then he went and got the glass beads. So that's what it was originally on felt. And I think he cut the felt and put it in the back, and then this is the new version, which I think that's genius. People are showing off the things that they're studying over in the Mythic Bastion lands. They already come pre-connected. You got it. Yeah, that's right. 100%. It's genius. The old penny tile style. But this is where the person's studying for his, which I think is great. What else did I find in here that was cool over the last couple of days? There was a bunch. Oh, new character sheets. Hold on here. We download this. I will open this up. Let me close these out. We'll reopen it in here. I want to see these new character sheets. That's the other thing I'd found. So here's his new form fills. This is somebody else made. So we got some new form fill sheets. Really clean. Really clean. And I guess there's an alternate. I'll download these too. There's an alternate sheet too. So we go over here. There's an alternate sheet too. I don't know what it is. Oh, this is just a different version where he did them in a different font. Oh, that's cool. He did a lot of nice little work for this. So I found that. I was looking for some good form fills. And then I haven't finished this yet, but a gentleman made like a spreadsheet program using ChatGPT to track your scars and wounds. Because scars happen when you're at 0. And wound happens when you take vitality damage. And then if you take half of it in a blow, and I don't know if it's half total or half of what's left, you become mortally wounded and you can't do anything. You're on the ground bleeding out. But yeah, this dude made like a generator. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah. Here's some of like the more classic maps somebody did. Check this. I enjoy seeing everyone's hex maps, though. As someone who loves maps. I don't know if I can find it. Actually, I have it on my phone, because someone said it works on your phone, and I couldn't get it to work. Let me see if I have it downloaded here in files. I think I have it on files and Mythic Bastion Lands files. Mythic Bastion Lands. And it was zipped. It's called the All-Seer. All-Seer. Let me see if I can find it. Mythic Bastion Lands All-Seer. That's the itch. There's that. No. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share it. Let me see here. Can I send this? Yes, I can. All right, we're gonna put this in. I'm gonna put this in my Discord, and I'm gonna download it, and then we're gonna see if we can get it to run live here. Because I haven't tried yet on a PC. What was that? I haven't gotten my book yet. No one in the US I think has. I think UK is getting their stuff, and we're getting ours soon. Yes, Serving Hands. That is an amazing company that is local out here. They make really good root beer. Really good. Did it upload it? Files. All-Seer. Open. So it is a zip. I'm going to have to download it and unzip it. I don't know how it functions. So we're going to download it now. All right. We will extract it. And then we'll see how this fucking works. Because I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to run it. Nothing. Can you extract it, please? Ooh, that's weird. There we go. So we're doing extract all. All right, let's see what this does. So here's the problem. I don't know how you're supposed to run it. It looks like it's a JavaScript, but it fails on launch. Let me try the HTML one. Okay, here's the HTML one. Here we go. Check it out. I just mentioned you earlier, man. It's like you heard me. I talked about how you said that Monty Cook has the illest pen game. We were talking the hiring of Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins for Darington Press. So check this out. This is pretty cool. I haven't used it yet. But like I can name this, let's say, episode 3, right? And I can create an encounter. Okay. And it has episode 3. You can delete it. You can name it. Whatever you want to do, right? And then you can put the vigor in here. Put your number. So let's say it has a vigor. I know that this character has a vigor of 18, a clarity of 8, and a spirit of 12. I know its guard is 12. I know its armor is 3. And then you can add property to it. And you can add names. So this is the Legion they're fighting. Right? And you can do this for every character. You can add all the characters in. So if you give them property and give them their notes, when you add them, you're like, boom, select the encounter first. 3, episode 3. I want to hear. Can we add them? Load the encounter. Add. So now when they take damage, it will track everything for you. And he made this with ChatGPT with the banner and all that stuff. For Allseer. So now, if I take damage, right? And you go like this and say he takes 8 damage. And you apply it. It should move his stuff. Let's see. Ooh, let's see. Restore stats. That didn't do anything for me. How does this work? Save. Refresh. Do I hit enter there? Is that what I do? Because it should be taking it from his 12 guard. I'm curious. There we go, yeah. It changed his guard. I took the armor off of it. So if I do another 10, and I hit apply, it should take it from his Vig. Yep. I'm gonna do at least half. So I'll say 8 and a blow, because he's got 15 vigor left. And he's down. Does it... Oh, he's getting his armor still. So we'll do 9. It says Legion suffers a mortal wound. It even tells you. So now they have a mortal wound. That's really cool. I'm keeping this shit in my back pocket for the live show. I'll put everybody in there to track, like, all my players. This is really cool. So if you want access to this, I don't know the gentleman who made it is the only problem. I'd like to credit him. Let me put Allseer in and see if I can find the guy. No. He made it using ChatGPT. Huh. I'll find out who he is. I'll put it in the show notes. But that's fucking dope for running the game. That means you can put like all your players in here and add them in and be good. I think you just restore stats. Really fun. Really fucking fun. I'll put this down in the notes. I'll try to find a place you can download it. It might only be in the Mythic Bastionlands area, but the fact that it tracks everything, lets you save it all, it's an HTML doc, I don't know, man. It's pretty smart. Pretty fucking smart. But yeah, Rolling Stones and working for Darington Press. This company's having a hell of a fucking year. They really, really are. Mm. Yeah, they do look a little old school. I mean, the traditional... I mean, you guys have seen it. I've shown it on the show before, but... Here. The actual character sheets that I have for form fill for Mythic Bastion lands match the style. I've thought about making my own, but I don't think I'm going to take the time to do it with the show already going. But this is the blank character sheets I have been using. Let's see here. This is the Primeval. Let me see if I can just drag and put it on here. Yeah, there we go. So this is the original one people were using, right? Which I did not like. And then this is the character sheet version 2, which I'm a big fan of. It's got a little style to it. It has your gambits in the corner. It has your feats here. My players, I think, forget that this is here. But it helps a ton. And then you got a Knight's Journal area. This is probably my favorite version. And I think this person did a no background version. Oh, you played and you didn't tell me? You son of a bitch. You played and didn't tell me. Did you run it or did you play? Did you run or play? Dude, are you home? Do you want to jump on the chat in the stream for a few minutes? You can just do mic. I'll just put you in the Discord. If you want. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I know mine. For Good Helps channel? Okay. Are you at home or are you riding home from work right now? Can't now? Okay. We should talk about that sometime this week. I'd love to talk. I want to know what it is from a player's perspective. I've only got to run it twice, and we're getting ready to run Motherboard. So I haven't got a chance to play yet, only run. Cookie time for the twins. Gotcha. Did you enjoy it overall? Like, I think character creation is super clean. I think combat's super clean. I love the moving the spotlight if you get a group, especially if you play with a bunch of MCG people. You know what I mean? If he wants another guest on to play, I would love to come play a game. If he would like another person. I already kind of know what I would like to do. Let me know. Yeah, combat's clean as hell. Yeah, dude, it is. And I feel like it's got a good foundation to build on top of. Same way I feel about Shadow Dark and for Mythic Bastion lands. I feel like there is just a really solid foundation to build upon. Like, they left it open for people to make what they want. I really think it's good. Oh. I'm looking at some notes from something here from somebody. Requires a certain player base. Don't you feel the same thing about Cypher, though? Cypher system? Don't you feel that requires a certain player base as well? I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of stuff. Even like this game, I think it requires a certain player base. Well, for me, well, he's cooking. I can answer from my end. I feel that you have to have a group of players that know how to build momentum off of each other's actions. Have that be in combat or out of combat. And right. So the way that the spotlight moves from person to person to person, sometimes quiet players get left in the dark unless your GM and your players are highlighting them. But look, if you peel Daggerheart off of that, it's already our fucking job as GMs to highlight the quiet people and make sure they are getting notes, that they're getting the option to jump in. So it takes anyone running a game the wherewithal and understanding to call on those quiet people. I also think that once you've done it a few times, you're good. I also think that the hope and fear system really stops players from feeling like a bad roll got them nothing. Because you can spend that hope to help out. And I love the fear mechanic. I think when I was working for Cobalt Press, doing Tales of the Valiant stuff with the Doom pool, it really sparked that idea of my memories of playing the Marvel Heroic game, where you had a Doom pool in that you used to do abilities for your bad guys. And that's why I carried it into all my Streamloot cards. Every one of my Streamloot cards has a point assignment to it that I track on paper as I'm playing, so I spend them for events. I'm being a little more transparent about that now and what those do. Like the gifts, when people play gifts with the Streamloot cards, every 10 does something for the players where hey, we had 10 gifts played. They're showing their support. Which of these 3 things do you want? I do the same thing with all my points. It allows me to reroll things, activate abilities during the game. And what it becomes is this fluctuating system. And Daggerheart does that well, where the fear and hope goes back and forth. And it really drives a pacing that's hard to teach a GM to do naturally. You know what I mean? That's my thing. So I think it does some really cool stuff. I'm excited for it. I really am. Really am. I do need to play in it. I want to run some more. And like I said before, we're doing Motherboard, which I'm pumped for Motherboard. I think Motherboard is this great mix of, like, what did Todd called it? Todd called it feels like He-Man. It feels like Eternia and He-Man. I think it feels a lot more like Horizon Zero Dawn and Shadow of the Colossus a little bit. Those kind of vibes. There's no magic. It's just like technology, but it's in this fantasy realm. Final Fantasy has a hard Final Fantasy vibe to me too, which I really enjoy. I think those are all really fucking solid entries into Daggerheart. And being able to build frameworks, so I was looking through Daggerheart a little bit more yesterday, and now I'm going to be going through the book a lot more. Taking notes and marking it up. But let me pull open, I want to pull up Daggerheart real quick, since we're just talking about this. So, okay. Oh, it saves where you were. That's fucking cool. So let's go to the frameworks really quick. There are a few questions that I bumped into that need some clearing up for me. That I just don't understand how they function. So let's go to... Is it running an adventure? Is that where frameworks are? No. Ah, here we go. Campaign formats. These are your frames. So we decided on... We voted with a group, and we're doing Motherboard. So check this out. You have your entire game. You already know how to use it. And we've seen this with a lot of companies where they build like individual things that you can do. But Motherboard, let me switch this over. Motherboard has a really good tonal feel to it. I love the art for it. This is like the city center. This reminds me a lot of when, what was it called? Something in Destiny came out. What the fuck is it called? Hold on. Discovery and Destiny, when that came out for Numenera. That's what this reminds me of. You normally dislike mechanics like that. Why do you normally dislike hope and fear mechanics? Do you not like luck tokens or inspiration in 5e Shadow Dark? Do you not like those? Because that's kind of essentially what this is. Just moves a little bit better. Like GM and player intrusions are some of the best things in Cypher System, and I feel like that's kind of what this does. So, complexity is a 3. Your tonal, like, I love this shot sheet. It tells you, boom. You dislike it. Oh, really? Why? What's your reason for disliking it? Do you not like having your players having a little bit of control over the things that they want to be successful at? Because dice are so swingy. And basically, the reason advantage was invented is, on average, advantage is a +5 to your roll. And then giving them inspiration or luck gives them a chance to succeed in what they're doing. Do you not want players to have any control? But I like letting the roll exist. If the D20 wasn't such a fickle mistress, sure. But I love players being able to create narrative and story. And if they go to do something really cool in that moment and it fails, I want them to be able to reroll. And hope also, hope isn't like inspiration. Hope is a resource that you use to activate and use abilities that you have or to help other people. So you can use hope to, for example, give an advantage on a roll. It gives you I think it's a D6 to anything you do. So when you roll your 2D12 and you roll a D6 with it, you add it to your total, but you still get hope or fear. Abilities are triggered by hope a lot of times, or you use your stress. And then for fear as a GM, the way initiative works is, and add that to the die roll? Sure. Hope can be spent, though, Spigs, to change a roll by adding a D6 as someone that's helping you. That's the one thing with hope you can do. So fear, the way fear works is it's when the GM gets to go, it's my turn. So if the players start the round and they roll 2d12, and they have like 2 actions in a row, 2 people go in a row. So like, let's say one person, we'll say we're playing Motherboard, right? We'll say somebody is diving through a doorway that is closing to stick a bar in there and stop it from closing on them, and they dive through. When they do, they slide too far and barely get that bar into place. Someone will be like, I'm going to spend a hope and grab their arm so they don't slide through the door. Okay, I want you to roll your hope. So that player is involved. They roll their die. And then the person who dove through to put the bar on the door rolls 2d12. Let's say they're successful. Let's say they roll a 6 on their hope die, a 4 on the other die, and the person who spent hope to help rolls a 4. So you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 in total. The difficulty was a 12. They succeed with the hope because the hope die was higher. They gain a hope. The next person goes, look, I helped them. I'm in front of the door. I want to get my pry bar in there and start hammering in a wedge so the door can't slide shut more. So down at the bottom, I'm going to hammer it in on each side. And they succeed as well. They succeed with hope. The third person goes, all right, now that the door is secure, I'm going to run and jump through the door and get a light into that room. When they go to run through the door and crawl through, because you got one person underneath, one hammering things in, they go to crawl through and they kick the shim that the person just put in. You're like, all right, crawl through. It's a delicate, but it's going to be easy. It's going to be like a 10. It's not a big deal. Just don't fail. And they roll like a 1 and a 9 on their fear die. But it's still successful. That's a 10 with fear. That fear means it's my turn. That means it goes to me. So the hope fear becomes almost like an initiative system for the GM. And the GM doesn't roll hope and fear dice. So they just roll a d20 like a standard game. So when they go through and that fear goes off, I go. And I can have an environmental set piece, which we all love as GMs. We all use it in some form of fashion. But my environmental is when that door shuts, the entire inside of this place powers up and the alarms go off. I go, well, you were successful with fear. The alarms don't go off, but the door does begin to close. I'm going to spend another fear, and I'll slide one of my fear across, as I start with a D4 plus the number of players. I go, I'm going to spend another fear to spotlight the floor grid in here, and I'm going to turn on the floor grid, which is the alarm. Right now, it won't go off as long as you're not touching the floor. It's your turn. And you go to the group, and they're like, well, shit. And like, it's this great back and forth that makes cinematic but mechanical play. To me, the player has the ultimate control because they get to express what they want to attempt. The better the explanation it is of the character, the more likely they automatically succeed. Right, so you got your own rules, though, on what you're doing. You're shifting your DCs based on what they explain. Nothing wrong with that. I do very similar things. You're determining the degree of difficulty based on that. I don't know if you're transparent with your player to do that or not. Why do I need fear dice to tell me to do that instead of doing it? So, there is a reason that you want it's not fear dice, it's just points for a point of clarity. You just get points. You get a pool of fear. So, there are also abilities within your monsters that as fear builds up this momentum, you can spend fear points to do extra things with traps and counters and things like that. And what it does is it builds a trust system between you and the players. It allows the players to understand what's going on. It's like having an escalation die. You are showing them that their actions have ramifications and things that are happening in the story are progressing. It also makes them really decide when they want a long rest or a short rest. Because on a long rest, I regain fear. And if I haven't spent all my fear, I could really be stacking up fear for these upcoming things. It makes your players decide, do we push on while we have the upper hand in the narrative? While what you're saying is correct, why wouldn't I just do that? You're right. An experienced GM does know to do those things. A new GM or an inexperienced GM doesn't always. And it gives them the okay. It's like your parent telling you it's okay to go to school to be an artist instead of being a doctor. It gives that okay to a new GM. As a veteran GM, it gives me a literal meter of fear on the table that I can showcase to my players, letting them know, guys, shit's about to get bad, man. If you guys keep making bad mistakes and bad rolls or resting too much, I'm building this fear up to be able to do more things. It's just a new form of transparency at the table. You're saying, hey, man, this DC was a 15. Great job. I love the description. Let's knock this down to a 12. Roll with advantage. You're doing the same thing, but this is a tool that teaches them how. And then fear becomes a mechanic to where I can give my monsters extra actions. And this is something that D&D and Shadow Dark don't do well in my eyes. If you're fighting a big boss monster, so let's go to monsters. I was in here, we were going to talk about this, but we're talking about fear. So let me go to the monsters here. Where is my monsters? Monsters. So adversaries. I think it's in here. This is when we get into it. Yep. All right. So let me make this fit the page. So let's get a tier 2. Let's get a tier 2. All right. A war wizard. Let's use the war wizard. This is the stat block for a war wizard and how they function, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I want this to be kind of like center page for us, okay? A little too much. This is a war wizard and what they do. They're battle hardened. So I love the stat block. First off, it's got a little bit of the 4th edition stuff I like. Again, the monster manual from 4th edition D&D. It's one of the best things. This is their good thing. So battle hardened mage, trained in destructive magic. Motives are develop new spells, seek power, and then shatter formations. They have a difficulty of 16 in general for everything they're doing. That's what you're rolling against. Their threshold is 11 and 23. If you hit them, you do 1 point. Unless they spend armor. They only have 5 hit points, right? If you beat a threshold of 11, they would take 2 points. If you beat a threshold of 23, they take 3 points. This works. This works, Nick. It does. It's maybe why I dislike it, but I've also been really thinking about how to increase suspension and tension mechanically for newer GMs, so I'm intrigued. Yeah, it works. And I think you dislike it, and I don't mean this mean. Every GM is kind of set in their ways. They don't like to adopt new things in when they feel like they already have a flow. I was like that for years, and then I just started adopting things to try new things to see how players react to it, because I run so many games at conventions, on stream. I adopt these new mechanics to find out if it helps my pacing, it helps the players' pacing, if it helps the players put themselves in the story more, things like that. GM intrusions are one of those moments where that risk-reward really made players think about what they do in Cypher system. This is similar. So, back to the War Wizard. If I take 23 points on a blow and I don't spend any armor, right, I take 3 points of damage. That's how it works. They get experiences. I have to spend a fear to use my experience, which gives me a +2 or a +2 to my roll if it's based on magical knowledge or strategizing. They have battle teleport. It's passive before or after making a standard attack. You can mark a stress to teleport to a location within far. Refreshing ward sphere, action. Mark a stress to refresh the wizard's warding sphere, reaction. Erupt action, spend a fear. This is when I get extra actions. And choose a point within far range. A very close area around that point erupts in impassable terrain. All targets within that area must make a agility roll, 14. I think they could have just put R14 to shorten that stuff. That's me, but we're teaching people. Targets who fail take 2d10 physical damage and are thrown out of the area. Targets who succeed take half damage and aren't moved. You can also spend fear to do arcane artillery. Unleash precise hail of magical blast. All targets in the scene must make agility reaction or take 2d12 magic damage. Targets who succeed take half. Remember, you're trying to beat their thresholds. And the last is a reaction, which is the sphere. When the wizard takes damage from an attack within close range, deal 2d6 magic damage to the attacker. So they have a reaction where they're blasting people who hit them. What this does as fear is I can use this guy as a boss fight, right? And if we open up and they come into the room, let's say they got into that room we just talked about, right? And magic isn't something that exists. It's a technomancy, technology in that. And this guy's got a staff and like nanotech fucking bots or whatever the fuck it is for this. When they walk in the room and they set off the alarm in that scene that we just painted, this guy could go, I'm immediately using a fear, I'm going first. And let's say I have 10 fear, I'm going first. And I shoot the first person who comes through, and I'm going to spend another fear, and I'm going to do an eruption in that room, hitting everybody. And then you're like, I'm going to mark a stress, and I'll put up my warding sphere in the doorway. And then I'm going to spend another fear to do arcane artillery on the guy who's in the door, or on the door, to try to crush the door on them. Boom, boom, boom. You spend 3, it's a boss fight, right? And you go, your turn. And the first person goes, and they roll, and they're successful, but it's with fear. Because this creature's difficulty is a 16. It's easy to fail that roll on 2d12 plus a little bit of bonus. So I gain another fear, and that means I get to go again immediately. And I'm going to do his battle teleport. I'm going to teleport outside the building. And I'm going to push that guy into the room, trying to get everyone inside. And he says, thank you for releasing me. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to spend another fear, and I'm going to blow up the things holding the door and shut it. There are player character abilities that are reaction. Like, whoa, reaction. I'm going to do X. I want to dive in and try to stop that door from closing us in here. So it just makes this really quick pace momentum, and it makes a better cinematic picture as people are doing things instead of, you go at 20, what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. I'm not ready yet. And then they watch their guy hold the door at 18, and 20 is like, fuck, I could help him, but I went at 20 and I held my stuff, but I don't know. Instead of in this game, they're like, I'm going to help him. I'm going to aid him. I roll a d6 to add to his roll. So they're holding the door open together, trying to get everybody to lock it back in place as this war wizard walks away. It makes these really cinematic, fast moments, but it teaches the players how to do it with you. Instead of the GM having to make the cinematic moment the whole time, the players can really jump in and do it as well. So that's kind of my quick overview on why I've been enjoying the fear mechanic so far. I think it really does bring something to the table. And all these monsters just have really cool stat blocks, and they're so small. I don't think it needs to be simpler, Nick. It is simple. It's just fear points. You spend them. What's not simple about that? What isn't simple about spending fear and generating fear? All you're doing is looking at the highest die and deciding if you get hope or fear. And all you do is say 16 with fear, 16 with hope. That's all you say at the end. It's no different than Pathfinder having 4 degrees of success. What's the DC? Well, the DC's 12. Okay, well, I beat it by 10. I got a 22, so that's a crit. Same thing. No different. But I'm telling you, it's simpler than you think. Once you're in the motion doing it, it's a really good exchange. I think the slider bar that Matt has for Age of Umbra is a really good way to portray the fear. I like that a lot. For players, you could give them little advocates, but they blow their hope so fast because some things are 1, 2, or 3. You can also just track it on your sheet. You don't have to use fiddly bits if you don't want, but some people are tactile and the fiddly bits make it easier for them. And then again, for the cards, you only have like 4 on there. Not really. You're just gaining a hope or fear, and you use it to do stuff. It powers things. You're still rolling success fail. It just makes a narrative note. It teaches narrative note. I succeed with hope means I succeed really well. If I crit with it, double numbers, I crit with hope, that's a really good thing. If I crit with failure, that's a really bad thing. It just gives a narrative scope for your GM to learn how to tell narrative and your players to tell narrative based on their dice rolls. It literally makes them lean into their die rolls. It does. Because it's mechanically part of it. And everyone's on the same page then. The love language of the table is hope and fear as a way of spending a resource to do things. Cypher System has similar things with GM intrusion, experience points, and of course the idea of rolling and spending effort and edge. Still should be different words. I stand by that. I definitely say you need to try it. 100%. If you're off on a Sunday, come play one of our Sunday games. We do our Patreon game. We're going to start doing it on Sundays. It's not going to be every Sunday, but I'll let you know. If you want to come try it out, make it a character, I can just give you one. If you want to try it out. Always happy to help people be able to play a game. What's that? Oh, we got to talk about Erik. Oh, about hope and fear? Well, I'm only going to 5:30 today. So after you're done cooking, man, if you want to jump on a call and chat, I got work to do, but I'm happy to chat. My NDA just expired. Ping me privately for the NDA. Oh, effort and edge? Yeah. Ping me privately. We'll chat. I think I know what you're talking about. But I'm pretty excited, everyone. Yeah, I think that's it for me today. Like, I really wanted to go over this. I wanted to talk about the Perkins and Crawford thing. I think that was very monumental for our industry right now. For those who are interested in the stuff that I've looked at so far, I'm going to drop them in the chat here. This is the Instagram post. This was the video game I talked about earlier. This is the Critical Role Rolling Stones article, if you're interested in reading that. And then this is the Polygon news outlet about hiring of Chris and Jeremy. And then I can't really send you the All-Seer, but I will find that All-Seer and see if I can't share it out to everybody and see what's going on. For sure, Nick. I'll be around on Discord all day today. I'm doing work all day. I just closing this up and wrapping it up so I can get some other work done. And then tomorrow, I will be back. We're going to do Breachers and Shadow Dark. We're going to be playing our Berserker again tomorrow. So I'll be back doing that tomorrow. I'll be doing prep for that tonight. If you missed getting those, I just did another batch of 10 of the Breachers books. If you're looking to pick those up, And then Berserker is out right now on Drive-Thru RPG, Itch, and of course, Patreon shop. So that's it for me, everybody. Stay rotten. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3:30 for a little bit more Breachers in Shadowdark.